Hi everyone, myself Dr. Lakshmi Prasad, working as an associate professor in the Department of Data Science in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. In this video, I am going to discuss about statistics and its importance. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about some of the topics like definition of statistics and then importance and what are the various application of statistics and various branches of statistics. And we should know about what should be about population and sample and then data sampling and then what are different types of sampling, types of data and then scales of measurement and collection of data. So in this one, I'm going to cover up to some of the topics like up to here, up to data sampling and what are the different types of sampling. So very first thing, so everyone should know about the statistics. So statistics is nothing but a branch of science. So which is going to be deals with collection and then presentation, analysis and interpretation of data. So it provides various methods for analyzing and assessing the significance of data, and statistics enable the information of transformation, so which should be converted into another form and it should also be serves as the basis of decision making. So this statistics is nothing but a branch of science which is going to be deals with collection of data and then how we're going to be represent it and then what we're going to be analyze it and then finally how we're going to be interpret the data. Then it also provides the various methods for analyzing and then assessing the significance of data. And the statistics enable the information transformation of data into transformation that can be serves as the basis for decision making. So here these are the some of the topics like decision making. So we're going able to done through statistics only. Well, comes to the importance of statistics. So, statistics are able to present the facts and figures in definite form, and it should also be helpful to condense the data, and it should be also give some brief idea about the shape and spread and symmetry of the data, and it should also be facilitates the comparison and should also be make the relationship between two or more variables, how the variable is going to be dependent and independent to another variable, and it should also be helps in estimating and then prediction of the data. And so if this one will also be useful in formulating and testing the hypothesis or making a new theory as well, and should also be helpful in planning and controlling and decision making. So these are the some of the important importance of the statistics here. So right, so mainly the statistics is going to be useful in making this formulating and testing of hypothesis, and mainly for to make the measures and the relationship between the data two or more variables, and then should also be helpful in estimating and then prediction, and should also be helps in planning, controlling and decision making, and it should also be present the facts and figures in the form of definite form, so it should also be facilitate the comparison. So when it comes to the definition of the statistics, so already I said that this should be a branch of science which is going to be deal with collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. So normally this one is going to provide different types of methods for analyzing and then assessing the significance of the data. And the statistics enable the information of data into information that serves as basis for the decision making. Then comes to the application of this statistics. So this statistics is going to be used in many of the applications and various fields also. So some of the fields may be it may be used in business and industry. So mainly these statistics play a vital role in business. So how the business is going to be improved. So by implementing the statistics, and then industry also it should be useful. And this statistics also be used in agriculture and then commerce, demography, economics, and then education, social sciences, biological sciences, and medical sciences. So mainly the statistics is going to be used mainly in business and industry and then education and then medical sciences and biological sciences. Okay, so like there are so many kinds of application, and then at the same time the statistics plays a vital role also. So there may be of different branches of statistics also available. So very first thing should be descriptive statistics. So what should be the descriptive statistics, and next one is inferential statistics. So when it comes to the descriptive statistics, this one is going to be organizes and describes and then summarizes the characteristics of the data. So suppose if we are going to have a data, so how this data is going to be organized, and then how this data is going to be uh, described in the form of theory, and then how this one is going to be summarize the characteristics of this data. So that and all are going to be deal with the descriptive statistics here. So it should mean normally this descriptive statistics may going to have some of the construction of graphs and then charts, tables, and the calculation of various numeric measures such as mean, median, standard deviation, and then percentile. So normally it does not involve any kind of generalization so beyond the data at hand. So descriptive statistics is going to be mainly deals with the organization of the data, and then it should also be make the some description and then summarizing the characteristics of the data as well. And in order to represent and in order to make the visualization of descriptive statistics, we are going to have some of the graphs, charts, labels, and then various numeric measures. So it should be in the form of a mean. So mean means the sum of all the values. So that should be divided with the number of values. So let's take mean means. Suppose if I'm going to have values like this, so 30, 40, 50, 60. So the mean should be calculated with the sum of all the values divided by the number of values. So that means 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 50. So divided by 5. So we should get some value, right? So like this, we are going to calculate the mean here, and then median means the most occurring number of values. Suppose if I'm going to have a data like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the median should be the most number of times the variable that are occurring. So that should be treated as a um, median here. So the most number of times that occurring variable is 1. So it should be considered as the median of the value, and then standard deviation. So this is the other kind of measure like this. We're going to be have some of the formulas in descriptive statistics. So let's take an example like a batsman who wants to find his batting average for the past 12 months. So and then the politician wants to know the average number of votes he received in the past 3 years and average daily temperature of the Pune city. So these are the some of the examples. So that may be reflect into this descriptive statistics. Okay. And second one is that inferential statistics. So this inferential statistics is nothing but so where it mainly concerns with the drawing of conclusions and then predictions about the population from analysis of random sample drawn from the population. So mainly this one is going to be include some of the measures like point estimation, interval estimation, and hypothesis testing. So these are the some of the different types of measures what can able to do in inferential statistics. So this inferential statistics is going to be concerned with drawing of conclusions and predictions about the population. So already I told what should be the population and what should be the sample of the population. Previous videos are covered, and some of the methods like point estimation, and then interval estimation, hypothesis testing. So this and all I can able to see as a measure for the inferential statistics. So mainly this inferential statistics is going to be drawn the conclusions and predictions. That is should be the main thing of inferential statistics. So let's take an example like, so the politician would like to estimate based on the pre-election polling techniques like opinion pollings. So his chance for winning in upcoming election, and then the researcher want to determine if the treatment A is better than the treatment B. So this kind of problems may able to solve this through inferential statistics. So the politician would like to know this estimation based on pre-election polling techniques. So how the politician able to get the chance of winning an upcoming election, I want to know. So for that, how to do that. And similarly, the researcher wants to determine whether the treatment A should be better than the treatment B or not, like this. And next we are going to see what should be this population here. So population is nothing but the aggregate of objects or individuals under the study, and then sample means any part of population under the study. Uh, so population means, so normally we are going to take the aggregate of various objects or individuals which are going to be under study should be treated as a population, and the sample may be that any part of population under the study. Suppose if I'm going to have the population like this, so if I'm going to consider the one sample of this population, any part of this samplation which is going to be go for under the study should be treated as the sample here. Suppose if we want to study the various industrial development of XYZ city, so there are totally 500 industries in the 500 industries are available in that city, right? So all these 500 industries are able to constitute a population, right? So if we are going to be randomly choose the 100 industries from the total of 500 industries, then these 500 industries will be treated as a sample here. Okay, so normally in order to make the study, so like assume that there should be around 500 cities industries available in Hyderabad. So if I'm going to take randomly about the industries of about 100, and these 100 will be the samples of this population. So based on some certain characteristics, I have to decide this 100 industries. So all this will be the sample of that population of Hyderabad. And next one is that parameters. So parameters is nothing but a numerical value. So which is going to be summarize the characteristics of the population under the investigation. Normally these parameter values are typically unknown, so not that much known about the values exactly for these parameters. So the parameters is nothing but a numerical value which is going to be summarize the characteristics of the population. Suppose each and every industry is going to have some characteristics. So some of them maybe have medical industry, some of them may have steel industries, some of them may have iron industries, like this. So it should be then at that time what I have to do. So based on the characteristics, I have to be decide the parameter. So there may be of some 50 to 60 iron industries, and then 70 to 90 steel industries, and then 90 to 100 pharmaceutical industries, like this. So at that time I have to decide the parameter, but I don't know the exact value what it is. And finally next one should be the statistics. So statistics should also be a numerical value, so which is going to be characterize this sample here, characteristics of the sample, and which is going to be estimate the parameter. So normally this parameter is going to be discuss the characteristics of the population, whereas the statistics is going to be discuss the characteristics of the sample here. So these are the some of this basic terminologies what should be learned in population statistics in order to know the basic terminologies. So population is nothing but the aggregate of objects or individuals under the study, and then sample is nothing but any part of the population under the study, and parameters are nothing but the numerical values, so which is going to be described or summarize the characteristics of population, and the statistics is going to be summarize the characteristics of the sample. So see this diagram. So by seeing this, you can able to clearly understand what should be the population and what should be the sample here. So in this entire thing should be treated as a population. In that, so many people that it is assumed that India is going to have so many population. In that, so many members. It should be comes from AP and then Tamil Nadu and then Uttar Pradesh and then Jammu and Kashmir, like this. So at the time, I have to take some of the samples in order to make this. What should be the characteristics I want to know about this sample, and what should be the sample meant for. So in order to describe the entire population here, so if you make a study through the statistics on this sample, and then I can able to understand what is the population is mainly meant for, like that. And next one is data sampling. So what is data sampling? So data sampling is nothing but a statistical technique, so which is going to be obtain a sample of data, so which is to represent the population. So normally there should be of so many inferences that should be based on sample, hold true for the population as well. So normally this should be a statistical technique, so in order to obtain the sample of data, which is going to be representation of the population, and so much of inferences are going to be considered for the sample in order to hold for the population as well. So next one, why do we go for the sampling here? So when this one is not possible to measure every item in the population, and the population is infinite, so at that time you have to go for the sampling here. So very first thing means when it is not possible to measure every item in the population, or the population becomes infinite, at that time you have to go for the sampling. And next is that, so when the results are needed urgently, so at that time you have to perform the sampling. And when the area of the study is wide, at the time also have to perform the sampling. And when the elements gets destroyed under the investigation, so at that time also have to perform the sampling. So these are the some of the cases why this sampling is needed here. So very first thing is that, so whenever it is not possible to measure every item of the sampling, and the population also infinite one, and the results are needed urgently, and the area of the study is wide, and when the elements gets destroyed under the investigation, like this, so at that time I have to perform the sampling here. And next one, so what are the benefits we can able to obtain through the sampling? So sampling is going to be reduces the processing time, so that is the main advantage of this sampling. And the results what we obtain is that should be quickly, so in order to save the time and the data collection and further analysis. So normally this statistics is going to be main focus should be on the collecting the data and then interpretation. So in order to do this collection, so there is a through the statistic through the sampling, so one of the technique in the sampling, right? So through the sampling I can able to get the results very quickly, so that what should be happen, so the time may be saved for the further analysis of the data. And it should also be reduces the expenses that are incurred in the collection of data and its analysis. The sampling should be economical. So through this sampling also what will happen is, so you can also reduce the expenses. So in order to perform this collection of data, so there may be so many expenses have to be incurred, right? So through this sampling, what will happen is we can able to reduce these expenses also. and so that what will happen is the sampling become economical also. And due to this reduced volume of work and then data collection and analysis, so it should be completed efficiently using well-trained staff, and then sophisticated machinery is needed. So we should be able to increase the accuracy of results also. Okay. So due to the reduced volume, so the data collection and analysis can be completed and using well-trained staff and sophisticated machinery, and thus increases the accuracy of the results also. So these are the some of the benefits of sampling. And so what are the key terms or concepts that should be known in sampling? So sampling units is nothing but the members or the elements of the population, and sampling size is nothing but the number of units in a sample, and sampling frame is nothing but a list of all the members or elements of the population. So the sampling units is nothing but so the members or elements of population, and sample size is nothing but the number of units in the sample, and sampling frame is nothing but the list of all members or elements of the population. So these are the some of the key terms that should be learned in sampling. So normally the sampling size is nothing but, so in a population, uh, if I'm going to consider one sample, so the number of units in that sample should be treated as the sample size. And sampling units are nothing but the elements of the population. And sampling frame, so this frame is nothing but so the list of all the members or elements of the population should be treated as a sampling frame. So what are the different types of samplings we are going to have? So some of this will be simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, and systematic random sampling and cluster random sampling. Okay, so simple random sampling is the widely used one, and stratified is the second level of random sampling what can able to perform, and systematic and cluster. So these are the additional two samplings what can able to perform on the sampling methods. So like this, we are going to have some of this basics about the statistics. So very first thing is that so statistics is nothing but a branch of science which is going to be deal with collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of the data. So mainly these statistics are able to provide so many methods for analyzing as well as the assessing the significance of the data, and the statistics enable the transformation of the data into information, so which should be served as the basis for the decision making. So the importance should be that so mainly this one is going to be helpful in planning and controlling and decision making, and it should also be useful or helpful in formulating and testing the hypothesis, and it should also be useful in order to make the relationship between two or more variables, and should also be facilitate the comparison and presenting the facts and figures in definite form. And this statistics is going to be used in more number of applications like business and industry, agriculture, commerce, demography, education, social sciences like this. And the branches of statistics will be of two types. What I said should be descriptive one and inferential statistics. So descriptive means where we can able to describe and summarize and organize the data. So and then we're also going to have some of the constructions of graphs, charts, and tables are available for data visualization. At the same time, we'll have to have some of the measures like mean, median, mode, uh, etc. In order to make some measures on the data. And next one is inferential statistics. So mainly this inferential statistics is going to be drawn the conclusions as well as the predictions about the populations, and it should also be include some of the methods like point estimate, interval estimation, and hypothesis testing. So population sample is nothing but the aggregate of objects of individuals under the study, and any part of population under the study will be treated as a sample, and the parameters are nothing but numerical values, so that is going to be summarized the characteristic of population under the investigation, and parameter values are also typically unknown, and the statistics of numerical values, so that summarize the characteristics of the sample, so it should be used to estimate the parameter also. So the population is nothing but an aggregation of objects or individuals that should be comes under the study will be treated as population, and sample means any part of the population which is going to fall under the study, and parameters is nothing but the values and which is going to be describe or characterize or summarize the characteristics of the population, whereas the statistics should be summarize the characteristics of the sample. So population here, this should be the structure. By seeing this, you can able to identify what should be the population and sample. And different types of samplings are available. So sampling is nothing but a statistical technique, so which is going to be obtain the sample of data, and then so many inferences also going to be hold true for the population. And why to go for the sampling means, so mainly this one is not possible to measure every time in the population, and population is infinity, and the results are going to be needed urgently, and the area of the study is wise, and elements that is going to be destroyed in the investigation. So this and all will be the problem. So in order to avoid this problem, so we can go for the sampling here. And benefits of the sampling is that we can easily reduce the processing time and reduce the expenses, and well-trained staff is going to be used to improve the accuracy of the results. And next one is what are the key concepts that are going to be used in sampling. So sampling units, so that is nothing but the numbers or elements of the population, and sampling size should be the number of units in a sample, and sampling frame is nothing but list of all numbers or elements of the population. There are different types of sampling. So simple random sample, stratified random sample, systematic sampling, and cluster sampling. So these are some of the different types of samplings. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.